Good day everyone, I'm Quasar and today is a good day to play some video games. And today we're gonna continue our adventure with Excavation of Hub's Barrow. And now it's time to go into the rabbit hole. Enjoy!
I should fill the lantern with paraffin before I go in there. Fumbling in the dark may cause me to spill the oil. My lantern is fueled and ready for action.
Of course. So let's go inside the rabbit hole.
Right, let's put this lantern to good use. Jane, come out at once. Goodness me! Jane!
Silly, what are you doing in that smelly old badger's hole?
You were in there.
No, I weren't.
Yes, you were.
Not true. I was hiding behind that tree over there. I got bored of waiting for you.
So where can I find Hobbs Barrow?
Go north from the church graveyard, up the hill. You'll see some muddy fields on the horizon. That's Mr. Bryden's farm. Hobbs Barrow is there. Don't tell any grown-ups I told you. And thanks for getting Myrtle back.
My pleasure. Thank you, Jane. You've been a great help.
Squirrel.
I shan't be visiting the badgers again. I was lucky to escape intact.
Poor Badger probably was scared more than we. Badger are means. No money. No muffins.
I've already taken one.
So I will need worm to lure the birds somewhere, I guess.
As I trudged through the barren moors, with only the odd sheep for company, I reflected upon my visit to Bewley thus far. The enigmatic Mr. Shoulder and his puzzling disappearance, the townsfolk of Bewley who had made it as difficult as they could for me to find Hobbs Barrow, the suspicion, the wariness in their eyes. Only now I know it was actually fear. In the end, it was the innocence of a child, young Jane, that condemned me to my fate. Easy, girl. I'm not fond of goats at the best of times, but this one seems particularly disagreeable. This is not mine to take. The entrance to the farmhouse.
What do you want?
My name is Thomasina Bateman. Mr. Bryden, I presume.
Aye? What do you want, lass?
I understand Hobbs Barrow is located on your land.
Oh, well, yes. Why'd you ask?
I am an antiquarian, Mr. Bryden. I'm writing a volume on the Barrows of England.
Oh, I suppose you'll be wanting to dig about it.
If at all possible, Mr. Bryden. I was invited to Bewley by Mr. Leonard Shoulder, who told me such an excavation would be possible.
Leonard Shoulder? Ha! I haven't seen him in years. The last I heard he were on death's door. There's to be no more digging there, lass. Not since it went so badly last time.
Was there a previous excavation of Hobbs Barrow?
Aye. Me brother dug it up. Must have been, 25 years ago. You see, whatever he found inside, well, it drove him mad.
Oh?
Aye. I moved back here to look after him. Poor bastard hanged himself not long after.
I'm sorry, Mr. Bryden. That's terrible.
Aye. Time passes, but it were an awful thing.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Bryden.
I live here with my wife. And I might be long in tooth, but I can still run this farm without too much help.
What did your brother find?
Samuel. Samuel were his name.
Sorry, what did Samuel find in the barrow?
I don't know. But something went wrong. Afterward, he could barely speak. You couldn't make out a word like.
That must have been hard.
He lost a hand in that excavation too, you know.
Goodness me, how?
I try hard not to speculate on what might have happened, lass. I'd see him disappear into that barrow, dragging timber in with him. You'd hear him hammering away for hours. I offered him help, but he'd have none of it. Soon enough, he blocked the entrance off. To look at it now, you'd never know the thing we dug up. The landers reclaimed it.
Who else was involved in the excavation?
2 others, I believe. Outsiders, perhaps. I can't say for sure. I think they left town pretty swiftly afterwards. I lived in Bakewell at the time. I only moved back here to look after Samuel. I took over the farm when he passed away.
I see. What can you tell me about your farm?
Samuel's fair to side. We're a fortunate family. The soil is fertile here. Crops grow without too much trouble. All the other farmers round here raise livestock, even Lord Panswick. We grow feed for him.
Most fortunate, Mr. Bryden. Is your wife home?
She's out in fields, lass, pulling weeds. The curse of such fertile soil. 40 years we've been married. I couldn't do it without her, you see.
How splendid.
Aye, my wife is a fine woman. Are you married, lass?
No. I've had my fair share of proposals, Mr. Bryden, but that's not the life for me.
Marriage is an important institution. You'll find a man one day.
I manage rather well without one, Mr. Bryden. You haven't seen Mr. Shoulder for some time?
I hear about him now and then, but it must be a good few years since I set eyes on him.
He hasn't been here to visit Hobbs Barrow?
Not to my knowledge. I heard he's beset by ailments. Don't leave his home often.
How odd. I assumed he'd spoken to you about my visit.
Not at all.
What can you tell me of Lord Panswick?
He keeps us going. Most of our crops go to feed his animals.
What is he like?
Oh, I've hardly laid eyes on him. He sends his workers here to pick up the crops.
I see. That's quite an intimidating goat you own.
The old girl does a better job of protecting this farm than any hound would. She still produces a lot of milk for us, so we forgive her temper.
You say Mr. Shoulder is at death's door. What exactly ails him?
I'm unsure. It's just what I've heard. I wouldn't want to speculate on matters that are not my business.
Mr. Bryden, may I please have your permission to excavate Hobbs Barrow?
No.
Something tells me I will still go and excavate.
Have you not been listening, lass? Samuel found something in there that's best left to rot. No digging here, lass.
Let's try to reason with him.
Wouldn't you like to find out more about what Samuel found in there?
Perhaps. But Samuel boarded up that barrow for a reason. You don't want to tempt the same fate, lass.
No, I won't. I want to tempt that fate.
Perhaps I can at least see Hobbs Barrow.
I suppose you've come a long way to be here, lass.
All the way from London, Mr. Bryden.
Have you any proof of all you've told me?
You wish to see proof of what, Mr. Bryden?
I can't let any Tom, Dick or Harry wander around me fields. What proof have you of your claims?
You wish to see proof...
I can't let any... What proof have you...
Thanks for your time.
Tarana.
I have a chisel.
I'm not sure they would be interested. Here is proof that Mr. Shoulder invited me to Bewley in order to excavate Hobbs Barrow.
Leonard making bold promises, I see. Don't make me regret this, but yes, you can have a look at it.
Thank you.
Any road. Once you've set your eyes on it, you won't be wanting out to do with it. The place gives one a queer feeling.
So where can I find it?
Through that gate to your left. Just head straight across the top to the field there. After 10 minutes or so, you'll see Barrow, set on a hill ahead.
Thank you again, Mr. Bryden. I really do appreciate it.
Ciao. Of course it's raining and then my umbrella is in the pub.
I probably should have brought my umbrella.
Yes. Arr.
AR. I haven't a clue what that could be referring to. Someone has carved the letters AR into the stone. Finally, here it is. Hobbs Barrow.
That's all?
Indeed, a barrow of a most unusual rectangular form. I've not seen something like this since West Kennet Long Barrow. Yes, this shall make a fine entry for my book. What secrets do you conceal, I wonder? That smell. Earthy and sweet.
Three, 2, 1. You can open your eyes now, Thomasina. Come. Are you ready for your first excavation?
Yes, Daddy.
Capital. Make sure you remember everything I've taught you. I have a feeling you might find something special.
How exciting.
I'll be watching from the steps, my little bird. Good luck.
Thank you, Daddy. Now I'm ready. Hello. Nothing here. No treasures here. Daddy would be angry if I break the statue. Treasure! Daddy, I found the treasure! Look!
Well done, little bird. Your first successful excavation. That urn you're holding is very old and precious. Take good care of it, all right?
I will, Daddy. I promise.
She gonna trip and she gonna break it in probably just now.
In good time. In good... No, now... I do have a feeling there is something exceptional to be discovered here. I must gain Mr. Bryden's permission to excavate.
Or wait for the night. Chisel TB.
I don't wish to carve anything into the rock. Darkness falls quickly here. I should make my way back to the inn.
No worry, I have the lantern. Or maybe I can stay with the owner.
I shouldn't disturb him at this late hour.
And the goat.
I don't wish to risk... I'll have to read it. I'll have to read it tomorrow. It's too dark now to make out the writing.
No muffins. And who is in the church?
St. Edmund's is locked up for the evening.
Silent Hill vibes.
The sign... The bucket is rusty, beating raw metal into... I didn't come to Bewley to sweep... It's late. I should really get some sleep now. Good evening, Mr. Crozier.
Evening. Thanks again for the fossil, lass. 'Tis truly a beauty.
You're most welcome. Thanks for your time.
Aye,
Good evening. How long have you been collecting fossils?
ever since I were a boy. The moors look a barren place, but there are plenty of fossils to be found in the rock formations. All manner of creatures to uncover.
Such a playground for a young lad. What's your favourite piece in your collection?
The ammonite you gave me today. The most recent is always the best.
Indeed.
What about you, lass? Do you collect out?
I do. You see, I'm writing a book on the Barrows of England. It shall be called Vestiges of the Antiquities in Rural England. I document all my findings.
But what do you collect?
Pottery, tools and such.
Bones too, no doubt.
No, I leave those in place.
You've got a morbid heart, lass. Fussing about in old graves like that.
We're not dissimilar in that we both take an interest in the remains of the long gone.
I suppose you have a point there. How's your book coming along then?
Very well, thank you. Though I'm rather keen to begin my chapter on Hobbs Barrow. Thanks for your time.
Aye. Speak to you later.
Good evening, gentlemen.
What are you gonna do about him?
If he thinks he can take her away from here, he's got another thing coming. I am gonna knock his bloody block off. In fact, I can think of a better punishment. Oi, what do you want, lady? Piss off!
You heard the man.
Charming.
Herbert.
He's engaged in a bout of pinfinger. Such a brutal hobby. Good evening. I'll leave you to it. It's Herbert, the local stray. I don't wish to wake him up. A lovely place to warm. Cyril seems gruff and unwelcoming, but I sense he may be a kind man under this facade. Hello again, Cyril.
You're still here?
Did Mr. Long convince you of the virtues of Bewley Station?
What the hell do you think? Now bugger off and leave me to me drink.
Definitely soft.
He seems even more wound up than usual. I must say, last night has rather put me off using these toilets. Time for bed. Tomorrow I shall convince Mr. Bryden to allow me to begin my excavation.
Miss Bateman,
Ah, I didn't talk to bartender. What about your payment?
how are you?
Tired.
Gonna buy you a drink?
He want me to get me drunk.
No thanks, Mr. Tillett.
Please, Miss Bateman. I feel bad about what happened last night. I'm sorry I can't remember it.
That's all right, Mr. Tillett. Alcohol can do all sorts of damage to one's memory.
I was thinking that maybe if we had another drink tonight, I might remember what happened.
Yes, definitely.
I'm not sure that's logical.
But worth trying?
You're good. You're good.
Oh, Mr. Tillett, if you insist.
No. Why do you going with that?
Very good. Take your seat, Miss Bateman. I shall return with the goods.
So no matter what I choose, the outcome is one.
To Leonard Shoulder.
Wherever he may be. I've been meaning to ask you something.
Yes?
Why did Leonard Shoulder ask you to dig up Hobbs Barrow?
Despite his disappearing act the previous evening, not to mention his questionable sobriety, I decided Mr. Tillett was to be my ally. I spoke again of Mr. Shoulder's letter, his proposed excavation, and my status as an antiquarian and barrow digger. He was fascinated and quite excited at the prospect of meeting the soon-to-be author of a real-life book.
You must find all manner of riches on your digs.
Barrow digging is not all success, Mr. Tillett. Often I'll come across the likeliest of sites steeped in promise. We set to work with shovel and pick and all the other barrow-opening paraphernalia you can imagine. Every stone carefully taken down, every shovel full of earth put dutifully through the sieve, and we find nothing. Or you may find a miserable remnant of animal bone or a shard of pottery hardly to be recognised from the peat in which it decayed. Sometimes it's as if some Neolithic humorist prepared an elaborate practical joke for your special benefit.
It still sounds much more exciting than spending your days sitting in England's most remote railway station.
Are you all right, Mr. Tillett?
I've had another argument with Agnes.
Your wife?
Aye. She didn't want me coming to the plough tonight. Truth is, I've been drinking my life away since my mother passed.
Oh, that's terrible. I'm sorry for your loss.
You're kind, Miss Bateman. Thank you. It's been a year since the old girl left us. She had a horrible end, wasting away, day by day. Consumption got her. She was naught but bones by the end. I can't get the image out of my mind. She were everything to me.
I'm so sorry.
I apologise for going on, Miss Bateman. It's not appropriate.
Don't worry, Mr. Tillett. I appreciate your openness.
Used to love going for walks out in the moor, my mother and I. Ever since I were a little one. She'd get a tear in her eye as she looked out upon it. She loved this land. I asked Mr. Crozier to build a bench, which we've erected at a favourite lookout spot on the moors. Margaret's Lookout, we called it.
That's a beautiful tribute.
Aye. If you take a seat there, do keep her in your thoughts, won't you?
Of course, Mr. Tillett. I can relate in some manner. My father had an accident when I was very young. He's still alive, but he can neither move nor speak. He spends his entire life bedbound and incapable of communicating or looking after himself in any way.
How dreadful.
He was a barrow digger himself, an antiquarian of some renown. He taught me so much, even though I was so young. I think writing this book is my way of carrying on his work. It helps me reclaim those earlier memories of him, and I visit him often to tell him all about my excavations.
Can he hear you?
I've no idea. The doctors aren't sure. I'd do anything to make him better, Mr. Tillett. I'd do anything to bring him back to the man he was. I am in a state of suspended mourning for a man caught between life and death.
Dreadful. Just dreadful.
We all have our weaknesses. Mine just happens to be my father.
And what of your mother?
A cold woman. We haven't talked in quite some time. I think she blamed me for my father's accident somehow.
You were but a child.
Indeed. She thus saw it fit that a governess should raise me as she spent her life grieving for my father.
Well then, I propose a toast.
A toast to what?
A shared sense of loss.
I'll toast to that, Arthur. Now then, enough of this wallowing.
Let us be merry. Another round.
I really shouldn't. But I did. And another after that. And another.
And we end up in the bed.
The frustrations of my visit to Bewley slipped away with each swill of Stanley's finest ale. We had great fun that night, Mr. Tillett and I. I treasure the memory.
Go on then. Let's hear those pipes.
Mustn't.
Sing the song.
You're incorrigible.
Please. You'll make a sad man happy.
Oh, all right then. Clasps, celts and arrowheads I'll try to claw within my clutch. And if a shield I should espy, I'll vow there ne'er was such.
With popish tricks and relics rare, the priests their flocks do gull. In casting out the earth take care. Huzzah! I've found a skull!
Who gonna visit me this night? The Badger. I'm in the dream now.
Hello, Thomasina.
Hello?
What is this? Who are you?
I'm the one that saved your father.
What do you mean?
He were here 25 years ago.
My father?
He were deep down with the others. He were there and something went wrong. I dragged him out.
Impossible.
I helped him then, and I can help him again.
I don't understand.
Believe my words. You'll find proof in morning. Now go.
So,
One more thing.
my father had accident when he was excavating Hobbs Barrow. That makes sense.
This is not a dream.
Yes, I drink too much ale.
Goodness, that was a terrible sleep.
Book.
Jammed shut. The wood must... I've hung my dress inside. I don't wish to carry the bowl. What's this? There's a strange stone strapped to the cover.
Day 1. Arrive after a decent day's ride from Bakewell. This is a curious place. Local seems distant, and I'm to meet my local contact tomorrow, so it will be an early night for me. I shall try to keep a diary of my stay here and not give up by day 3 of the excavation as usual. Despite the thrill of possible new discoveries, I cannot stop thinking about my dear wife and wonder if I should have left her in her current state. I must have faith that she will conquer this bout of illness. True to form, my journal has been abandoned. Let that not speak for the excitement I feel for this excavation. After much preparation, we dig tomorrow, such an exceptional site with a unique history. As for the dangers, we shall meet them, and first we are prepared. I also sought out a local wise woman yesterday, and she provided me with a tincture for my beloved nausea gravidorum. I'm sure she shall be pleased with it upon my return. Lo, a place of miracles, a bladed seed sprouted before our eyes and illuminated our path. Nature's laws hold no meaning here, but I clutch my table with the knowledge that it shall end this. Pi, Rho, Theta, Epsilon, Xi. We found the code. It was simple in the singularity of the characters. All eyes must face towards the seventh Archontic. When the sun and the two moons meet, the guardian shall be defeated. That language reveals the path, for thou art the moon, the chief of the stars. Listen to the things that I have said, follow the words of my mouth. Reveal thyself to me. I heard a whisper, not once again, not again. I will pour out my spirit, I will pour out my spirit, I will pour out my spirit. Close.
It appears to be a journal, full of hogwash. I don't recognise the handwriting. Maybe Stanley knows more about it.
Okay, it's good time to make a break. And we're gonna face the new day in the next episode. Thanks everyone for watching. See you next time.